Hey everybody, how is it going today? Welcome back to the channel. The market is down massively today, but I think there is some hope. So in this video, I want to go through those market charts, and then I want to show you some other nice looking tradable charts. Alrighty then, well, let's jump into these market averages first. And the first one I have up is the QQQ, which of course is the ETF for the NASDAQ. And as you can see, we're having a pretty nasty down day. It's down about 2.2% at the moment, and it was down a lot worse. It actually looks like the market is trying to bottom as I am making this video. But if you saw yesterday's video, I thought we had a pretty good chance of breaking above 374.50, and if we could do that, we had a pretty good chance of testing the old high right around 383. But the market has a tendency to, kind of suck you in, and as soon as you think the coast is going to be clear, it goes and just rolls over on you, because you can see the Qs are rolling over on some pretty big volume at the moment. Now the Qs are the weakest of the market averages, or at least the ones that I watch, and the Qs are making a new low from the previous week. But let's go intraday and let's take a look at that little bottoming formation that it's making right now. I think if the Qs don't roll back over and they continue to melt up into the close, I think we got a pretty good chance for a multi-day bottom at least. I'm not saying this is definitely going to be the the intermediate bottom, but I think we got a pretty good chance to go up for a couple of days if it can hold above these moving averages and continue to melt up. But let's go to the hourly chart and see if we can find some support levels. As you can see, we are bouncing off this support level right here, which is a good sign. But if that does not hold, I think we have a date with probably 355-ish. Yeah, call it 355, and that's a pretty decent size baby step to the downside. And if that doesn't hold, we're probably looking at like 352. I would say probably 352 would be the next target, and that's another halfway decent size day to the downside right there. So, I mean, there could be certainly some more pain, and if we break 352, the QQQs definitely could be hurting for a squirtin'. But let's take a look at the S&P 500, which of course is the SPY. Let me jump over there. Let me zoom in a little bit. As you can see, this one has not broken the low from last week, so that is a good sign. And the S&P is a little bit stronger than the NASDAQ right now. And I definitely thought the way the S&P 500 was looking yesterday, we had a very strong chance for a breakout, but we're not getting that as of yet. And let's take a look at the diamonds, which of course is the Dow Jones Industrial Average. You can see the Dow Jones definitely found some resistance at that 50-period simple moving average and rolled over, and it is now below that 8-period exponential moving average, that white line on the chart. So we're kind of in a little bit of no man's land for the Dow Jones, so it's going to take another day or two before we see what direction the Dow is going to go. And the IWM is the one that I follow the closest, or at least lately, since it's been this consolidation, and this one is still the strongest, and it's actually right there at the 8-period exponential moving average. So it's really not looking all that bad. Certainly it's looking a lot better than the other ones, but I think we need at least 1 or 2 more days to see where the overall market could be going, because a lot of these averages are kind of in no man's land right now. So just have to pay attention to them before we make any new trades, or at least that's what I'm going to do. I want to see a little bit more direction before I either start getting out of some other trades, or putting some more trades that could benefit me if we get more downside. All right, well, I'm going to start off with some energy stocks again, because those are just the best looking charts that I can see in the market right now. Definitely the best sector by far as a whole. But by the way, none of this is financial advice. Please make all of your own trading decisions. All this is just my opinion. But if you did want to know what trades I am making, I do have a Patreon group. That link is in the description. So if you want to know what we're buying and selling in real time and be a part of the Discord, that is a whopping $10 a month. But the first stock I want to get into is MMLP. I've been looking at this one, it seems like forever. This is just such a beautiful pattern. This thing has teased breakouts several times over the last couple of months. But these pullbacks have been getting more shallow and more shallow. So I think once this thing does finally break out, it should be a pretty decent mover. I'm going to have to wait for it to at least hold for a couple of days, just because this thing has a tendency to just fall back into this consolidation. But you can definitely see that the supply is certainly drying up. So MMLP just keeps looking better by the day. As long as it can stay in this consolidation, it just gets just starts looking better and better to me. But next one I want to go over is Beekeep. Let's jump over to Beekeep. As we can see, Blue Knight Energy Partners has been just slowly pulling back over the last several months, and this thing has a date with this 200 period simple moving average, this yellow line on the chart. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised because if we get a move up, because there does have this support area here as well, so that wouldn't surprise me one bit if we get a sharp move off of that. And I think if that happens, it'll be above all of these moving averages, and that could start at the next leg up for Blue Knight Energy, because this thing has been, you can just call this a big long consolidation if you want to. I know it's pretty wide, but this thing has been in a consolidation for 8 or 9 months now. So if this thing does end up breaking out to the upside, this could end up being a pretty decent move. Next one I want to go over is GLOP. If we look at GLOP, we can see GLOP is trying to make a little bit of a rounded bottom formation. It is breaking above this resistance area, or at least it's right at it right now. Call it 450. But if it can break above 450 and hold, now that it's starting to make this rounded bottom, I think GLOP could be a great play in this sector. Next one I want to talk about is ENLC. If we look at ENLC, this one has already completed its rounded bottom formation. It has broke above this resistance area right here, right around 685-ish, and it is holding it so far. And I think if it does hold it, ENLC is probably going to be one of those ones that just kind of chug higher a little bit slowly, more slowly than some other stocks out there. So this might be one that you might want to just grab onto and hold for a couple of months if it gets into a nice uptrend. Next one I want to talk about is ET. ET Phone Home has already bounced off of this 200 period simple moving average and has jumped above all of the other moving averages. So this one is trying to complete a long rounded bottom formation, and if it does and start to head higher, I think this could be one that trends higher for many months. So ET could be finally completing this rounded bottom and heading higher, so that is a nice one to keep an eye on. Next one is Kinder Morgan, KMI. KMI looks like it is starting to complete this rounded bottom formation. It is jumping over these moving averages right now, so it's probably going to be a little bit of a slower mover, but KMI has a pretty decent dividend, and this one wouldn't surprise me at all if this thing just slowly grinds higher and ends the year above $20 a share. So KMI is definitely one we're taking a look at. And last one I want to show you, there are a ton of great looking charts in this sector, but I just want to show you the best looking ones that I am seeing. Last one is OMP. If we look at OMP, this one is really starting to complete a tight rounded bottom formation. Had a gap down back in late June, but it kind of stopped dead in its tracks and has just been kind of moving slowly sideways, maybe slightly lower, but has been holding that 200 period simple moving average, and that is a very good sign. And over these last couple of days, it has moved above all of those moving averages. So if this thing can hold that, I think OMP could be also headed towards $30 a share. Could certainly fill this gap right here, right around $27.80 or so, and that's a pretty decent move from here. All right, well, charts that looked pretty good that are not in the energy sector are few and far between, but I do have a few that I want to show you, and the first one is obsv. I've talked about this one at least a couple of times on the channel, I do believe, but this one continues to move sideways. It is hanging tough despite the market being so weak. If we zoom in, you can see a pretty well-defined rounded bottom formation, a nice resistance area. Actually, let's go to the 15-minute chart. But this is the area that I'm looking at on OBSV. I think if we get a break above 331, this could be a nice solid breakout. Now, I don't have any buy stops in the market right now because I want to wait for the market to shore itself up a little bit before I end up, trying to participate in some of these breakouts. When the market is in a downtrend, almost all breakouts end up failing. So, I don't want to be involved in any of them unless the market at least looks like it has, a chance to go up for at least a few days. But obsv is definitely looking really good. Let's go take a look at the next one, and that one is URG. You can see URG has had a nice move up from $1 to up over 2, but it is pulling back and it is starting to consolidate a little bit. And if we go intraday a little bit, we can see that resistance area that I already have on the chart. This is the area that I'm looking at for a breakout. So a break above 186, I think I definitely want to get involved with URG because this one had a nice move up, had a little bit of a light pullback, and has been going sideways and consolidating. So if this thing breaks out, I think this could be a good one. Hopefully it does it when the market starts to turn up a little bit, because I'd really like to participate in this one. But URG, just a very nice looking chart. This is kind of what I'm looking for right here. Just a pullback into this area, and then shoring itself up and then breaking above this resistance area and trying to catch a move up like this. Here was a smaller one right here. You could have caught this move up. That wasn't a huge move, but this is the type of one that I'm trying to catch right here. And I think URG has a good chance of doing that if the market cooperates. And the last one I want to show you is IRNT. You can see IRNT is making a very similar pattern. It's finding support at that purple line, that 21 period exponential moving average. And if we go to that 15-minute chart and take a look at this one has been a pretty big move up to pretty big run up from 20 all the way up to 45. So as you start to back the chart out, it gets pretty small because it was such an exaggerated move up. But you can definitely see how it's trying to round up and looks like it could be ready for a breakout. This resistance area is a little bit tougher to call, so I don't know if I want to wait till it gets a little bit over 27 or I don't know, maybe between 26.75 and 27, probably a move above that. I think I would like to participate with IRNT because this one looks like this could be an explosive move once it finally turns around. All right, everybody, that's all I have for this one. But if you have any questions or comments on any of these stocks, or if you want me to take a look at any other stocks, please leave them down there in the comments section, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching my video all the way to the end, and until next time, take care, everybody.